All right, we're going to go now to Mr. Bill Bavis one more time. How you doing, sir? This saga continues.
Yes, and on goes the story.
Yeah, all night. I don't know if you're paying any attention to Twitter or not, but there's been a raging discussion.
I don't know how to send an email. Yeah. So don't ask me nothing about Twitter.
All right, now listen. Some people are making some hay out of the fact that they say you should have brought them to the vet. That most dog owners, when they get their dogs back, just for safety's sake, they take them to the vet, get them checked over, and see if there's anything that is unseen.
Well, I doubt there's anything unseen, because I fed the dogs this morning, and the little brown one is right back to where she was before I lost her.
Okay,
and I don't know if you've ever seen a beagle eat, but when this one eats, where she was where food was competitive in the pound with her, I mean, she just gobbles everything down to where as fast as she can get it down, and that's it.
Yeah, and she was in the best shape of the two.
Of the beast.
She was the better shape of the two, anyway, right?
Yes. Apart from that, there's two little sore spots on the older one's pads, or back pads, and apart from that, there's not a feather out of her. She's the best kind. She looks now in better shape than she ever was, because before she was a bit overweight. Jonathan,
the man who called your wife about the dogs initially, said that as far as he's concerned, or he says emphatically that she said, no, they're not ours, and the best thing to do would be to let them go, and they'll come home.
Yeah, that's why I spent I spent a week in the woods. And I'd say in the back of Mount Pearl, I walked 40 to 50 kilometers during that week. And I'm not 35 years old. I'm 67 years old. I spent a week in the woods looking for them dogs, only to have that man take them when he came out. And his intentions, to me, as far as I'm concerned, why didn't he contact the SPCA and Heavenly Creatures and say he had this dog? Why didn't he go to the dogs pounds? And this. There's a job for me now to control what I'm going to say, right? But this lady that got on yesterday, I don't know if she was from Heavenly Creatures, Jessica, from Heavenly Creatures, or the SPCA.
Heavenly Creatures.
Anyway, she said I didn't call the SPCA until the dogs were discovered. Well, I called Rogers last night. My daughter said, Dad, why don't you call Rogers and ask for a copy of your phone, the phone calls you made. Anyway, their policy is that they don't do that. However, the lady in New Brunswick, when I told her the story about the dogs, she looked up my account. And she gave me on November the 27th at 2:15 in the afternoon, or not November, on January the 27th at 2:15 in the afternoon, I called the SPCA. On the 27th, I called Beagle Paws. On Wednesday the 29th, I called Beagle Paws. And every town council from here, Mount Pearl, St. John's, Torbay, Portugal Cove, St. Phillips, Paradise, and Conception Bay South are the places that I called during the week. On a couple of occasions, I called early in the week, and previous to going out of town, I touched base with them all again, just to make sure that someone hadn't turned in the dogs. Right?
What was the date the dogs went missing?
January the 25th, which was Friday night.
Right.
Saturday and Sunday, I didn't think any of these places were open. Monday, I got on the phone and I started calling everyone.
Okay.
And then when I tried to get on the line with you guys on Tuesday, I had 4 pages of stuff written out, and I called in the Paddy show in the morning, and the girl said there's 4 minutes left on the show. And I said, that's not enough time. I'm going to need more time.
Right.
So I wouldn't get on. I waited till the afternoon. I got on with you. I got on in the nighttime. And, I don't know what else I could do.
Okay, I got one more question for you that somebody has posed here through a tweet, not a tweet, a message. And they say that you made a comment the other day about how the dogs were somewhat underfed or something, because when they're running you can't fully feed them or something. What was that comment again?
I just finished telling you a second ago that if the older dog now looks to me to be in the best shape of her life, because she's lost all the weight that I had put on her by overfeeding her. And I give my dog scraps, table scraps.
Right.
Plus dog food and that. And, the dogs tend to put on more weight than what you would like to see a dog that's running consistently. But I mean,
Okay, so you weren't underfeeding them so they were hungry. You were just you were overfeeding, so you try to feed them less if you're going to be taking them out and they need to.
Oh no, never. I mean, I try to give them the same amount of food every day.
Okay.
You know, I don't go down and give them a beef bucket full of food one day and then not feed them for a week. I feed them day in, day out. I clean their pound day in, day out, week in, week out, every day. I don't clean the pound twice a week. I clean my pound every day. I'm retired. Right? I don't have a big lot to do around the house, so that, you know, them dogs are well looked after.
Okay.
You know, if one of them puts on a bit of weight, it's maybe because I went away for a week. And my wife was feeding them, and she thinks they should be getting more than what they're getting. That kind of thing, right?
Right.
But you know, I don't know where they're getting these statements. So there's a lot of it is ludicrous, right? And another point that I wanted to make, Pete, while I got you on the line here. My friend that found the dogs originally, yesterday morning, the police called me and asked, maybe it was the morning before, whatever day that these people brought the dogs back. But the police called me and asked me for his name and number. And I gave it to him. And they called him. So when these people come into the police station and told their story about how my wife told them to drop the dogs off and that, or to leave the dogs, they'd find their own way home, the police knew that wasn't true. And they just wouldn't put up with it. So they said, you're not getting the dogs belong to the owner. There's a simple case of the dogs were lost. Now, buzz off. Right? I don't know what else to say.
Okay.
You know, these people are concocting stories, and then that lady yesterday evening, I mean, it's so easy to check. I got the dates and the times from Rogers. I didn't, I put the lady in a spot and told her the story, and she gave me the numbers. They don't have to believe her. They can call the Mount Pearl Council or the City Council and find out that I called them early last week, and I called them late last week before I went away to see if anyone had turned them in.
Well,
they don't have to believe me. Just pick up the phone.
Yeah, it's interesting that the story has continued on, and that the other side are still adamant that their version of the story is the correct one. It's an interesting situation, but anyway, we're assuming over now. The dogs are home, and they're, like you say, they're in good shape. They're recovering, and we assume they're going to stay that way.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Listen, thanks for calling again. Appreciate it.
Just one more thing.
I got to go to break.
Not for VOCM, I'd have never got them dogs back.
All right, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.